All right. It is the Dose edition of Office Hours. And I'm here with the incredible Mike Diamond. It's Diamond and Dave. And I tell you, when I put Mike Diamond and I on the show every Wednesday, Diana got too many D's here. We're talking about 3 D's. We're going to have three Diana, David, and Diamond. But I go at it pretty hard 7 days a week. Activity I get paid for, and by Wednesday, 3 o'clock, I get a little bit of a lump, and then I see my boy and it gets fired up and I leave here 4 o'clock fired up for the rest of the week. It's so good. Anyway, you have one of the coolest companies. But what I really like about it is people don't think about the niches, the spectrum of, how we can create such huge impact today when we're in a very narrow focused business. And I would have never thought there was actual business, the one that you're involved in producing, splints and casts for little kids. And my first question is, why is it such a significant problem that children can't afford casting splints? Like, what's the impact of that problem?
Yeah, so it's not just about being able to afford it, but it's about being able to afford something that's hygienic and washable during COVID. I mean, if you look at casting, it's been the same for hundreds of years. And you put some sort of plaster or fiberglass on their arm, you slap it on them, and then you wait, and then it dries, and then it gets all filthy, and you can't take a shower for weeks, and then you have to cut it off, and it smells bad, and there's bacteria and stuff growing in it, and you got a Cheeto in there that's been there for a month, and it's disgusting. And yeah, so that's why I'm revolutionizing casting. So I'm making it into, I knew the technology was there to provide a better alternative. So this is the same plastic as Legos. It's waterproof, breathable, hygienic. It fits perfectly to any body part. Any body part you need immobilized, you get one of these on, you sweat in it, bathe, shower, swim, wash your hands just like you would normally, and you're just as hygienic. This is even sterilizable, so doctors and nurses can wear it in the OR. You can wear it in the field when you're in the military and work out in it. And it's great because you can have it any thickness, you can have any exposure area you want. If you want a bone stimulator in somewhere, if you want to expose pins or an incision, if you want to observe the skin while you're being treated so that you avoid compartment syndrome. If you have swelling, you see all that happening. So you're not going to have an infection running all the way up your arm like that 49ers player had when they didn't notice until they took his cast off that he had an infection all the way up his leg. And you could lose your leg doing that. So you want to make sure that you can observe the skin and treat it while you're being healed.
ActivArmor, and it's active. That's amazing, huh, Mike?
Yeah, I broke my arm as a kid. I know what you're talking about, playing rugby. And this was years ago, they gave me that massive cast, and I had to put talcum powder, I think it was, and try to scratch it because it was so itchy. And then they had to cut it out because there was issues and recast it. So I know what you're saying. How did you break a bone? What gave you the incredible idea?
Yeah, so I'm a chemical engineer, so I knew about 3D printing and CAD design and things like that. And then I started running a mentoring program for children in poverty in the hometown that I live in Pueblo, Colorado. We have a lot of kids that have substandard living conditions and they have domestic violence. And I had little kids coming in that would have these filthy casts on that they would get from Medicaid, and they would get them wet. Like one little kid, he was in first grade, he couldn't keep his in a bag outside the shower by himself because he was being raised by elderly and disabled grandparents. He got his wet, wore it like that because he didn't want to tell, he didn't want to get in trouble, and they didn't have transportation anyway to get it replaced. So he wore it like that and ended up with permanent scarring on his arm. One little girl had bed bugs under hers. And so I said, all right, well, I'll measure their little arm with calipers, made them a little 3D printed plastic cast on my printer. And I said, take this to your doctor and ask him if you can wear this instead so you can take a shower. And the kid's doctor called me a couple of days later and said, can you make me some more of these? And that was 5 years ago. Since then, I called the FDA and I said, hey, what do I need to do? I'm just a person. I'm not, Johnson & Johnson or something. Can I do this? And they said, well, we're going to introduce you to one of our regulatory consultants that works at the Robert Fischel Medical Device Institute at the University of Maryland. And he and I hooked up and we started running the test protocols on biocompatibility, microporosity, all the things that you might need to test to make sure a device like this is safe. And I worked with him to develop these products. And now we're in 17 clinics across the country. We have contracts with the NFL and Major League Baseball. And we just now have a contract too with Children's Hospital Colorado, getting ready to open up their second clinic. And we're looking for other clinics who want to be able to provide this to their patients.
That's the Halloween edition of the ActivArmor, if you didn't notice. And a pretty cool costume, a coordinated one. Now, another thing is I talk about people that have skills, knowledge, and desire, right? And so this was born from your desire to help kids. And then it was born by not specifying a specific use of what you were trained to do. So many people limit their point of entry because they've been trained as a doctor, a lawyer, as an accountant. They've been trained to do engineering, biochemical, chemical, utility, whatever it may be. And yet, a lot of times, if we just took a step back and said, my skills, my knowledge of the what and the who, combined with the desire to help children, can manifest or create. Or, you know, I'm doing a training this Friday on manifestation. I said the best way to explain manifestation is that we're 3D printers, right? There's a CAD out there of everything, and we actually are materializing what we imagine, like Van Gogh with a painting. He imagines what he's going to paint, then he actually materializes what he imagines. That's what we do as human beings. And now we actually have some assistance, some supplementary technologies that allow us to more rapidly and accurately print, right? Manifest, materialize what we want. And you were able to do that. How, you know, have you had that mental mindset? Because most engineers are like lawyers and doctors, very closed-minded. They get into a situation and they're like, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, I'm an engineer, and they don't have the emotional intelligence, the adaptable intelligence to apply what they've learned. Instead of being educated, they're well-trained. Where has that perspective or mindset come in for you? Was it your parents? Was it in school? Or have you always just were born with that?
Well, to be honest, my brother died of cystic fibrosis when 9 years ago. And so growing up with a sibling who has a terminal disease makes you look at the world a little bit differently. You don't look toward retirement or whatever. You live in the moment, and you always know what your mission is growing up. I mean, I spent my life growing up in Children's Hospital. I knew that I was here to help people who were suffering improve their quality of life. And so I was just at that point, when I go to school and all the experiences and education and everything that I had, I saw those as tools that I was sticking in a tool belt to make me ready for whatever that was that I was supposed to, that I'm here on the earth for, you know, that what I was supposed to do. So I just kept my eyes open at that point. You go through these lifetime experiences, you know, you have kids, you get jobs, you do things, and every single thing you're like, I'm not sure if this is why I'm really here. But once you see it and you find it, you keep your eyes open, then you're like, hey, this is why I'm here. And then you get to live your mission every day. That's why you become successful. It's not about money. It's not about, you know, necessarily, although you need that to be sustainable in your business, but it's not about any of those things. I love getting up in the morning, whether I'm $500,000 in debt or I'm making millions of dollars, it doesn't matter. I get up and I love living my mission and helping people every single day. And that's why I'm here. If I die tomorrow, I'm happy, you know, and I want that to be the case for everyone. And really, it's just keeping your eyes open, you know, seeing what is the opportunity that I can fit because of my unique skills and experience. Why am I here? And I think anyone can find it.
It's mind blowing.
Yeah, awesome. So
I was going to ask one question. You know,
hey Mikey, you're a little bit slow on your questions, man. It's confusing me.
I'm giving you a gate. You know what? I'm just giving you space. I'm giving you space because you jump so quick and we're partners here, so I don't like to jump. You know what it is? I don't want it to be the presidential debate where they talked over each other. I give you space. We talk.
No. I don't even call that. I don't call that a debate. I call that being an abortion.
You know what I'm saying?
Amy Barrett. Because I'm unconstitutional.
You know why? My wife always says I don't shut up. So with you, I give you space. The question I had I love when you said that you saw someone in need and you just took the massive action and created something. And then I love the part, were you ever in fear when you had to face the FDA in that? Because then you went, all right, how do I do this and make it a regular business? And that going through FDA and those things can be scary. That's a process. What was your mindset going into that?
I can tell you that it's scary every day, but it's one of those things where when you know you're where you're supposed to be, you'll work it out. And you can see a wall, a blocker come in front of you, and you're like, all right, the first thing you think is not, oh, that's scary, but more, how do I get over that? And that's the thing is, too, when you're ahead of the game, when you're ahead of everybody else, then that any obstacle that comes at you, anything that's really hard to get over, you're improving your competitive advantage every time that hits you and you move to the next level. And so I like to think of that every time a blocker comes, I'm like, all right, good, another challenge, going to keep the next guy farther behind me. So that's how I look at it.
Love it. Let's love it.
Yeah, I do too. You're a great interview. It's interesting, that wall perspective. I used to talk about getting over walls, under walls, underneath walls, and through walls. Now you see people find someone with a key and open the goddamn door. And just now I'm gonna blow Mikey away, because not only have you used the mindset and the heart set to create abundance and to help children, but now you've applied it to something that annoys the crap out of me, is masks, right? Masks don't. Like I think masks can save lives. I encourage everyone to wear masks. But when I wear my mask, and I wear the lightest, medical mask I can, it just annoys me because it doesn't fit.
Wow.
Look at this.
That's dope. Seriously.
Dose of dope right there with Diamond Dave and Diana. How cool is that? So Diana stated she saw another need to help people. She saw that masks are probably the easiest way that we save lives. And the one reason it's not political. The reason people don't wear masks is it annoys them. It doesn't fit right. And when they don't fit right, they
amazing
don't fit right either. So now a super comfortable mask that actually stops germs from spreading.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, and the thing about stopping germs too is I worked with the same FDA consultants that I was working with on the cast, which was great. They're the ones that actually called me. They said, hey, we're having a problem because anything that goes around the mask is not being filtered at all. So it's not about the filtration rate of the mask. It's about not filtering anything because you got gaps going around it and everything. And so they said, you are the expert in body imaging and fitting things perfectly with 3D printing and everything. How can we make a mask that seals perfectly to everybody's weird shaped face? And so I went ahead and scanned thousands of people and did do custom masks. I 3D print the form of their face and then actually thermal form the mask to it so that it fits them perfectly and it provides that perfect seal. And so then after I did that with thousands of people, I found out that there were 6 standard shapes and sizes that fit 93% of adults. And so I standardized that and made those 6 sizes and shapes very similar to respirator masks. And now anyone can order them, and they're transparent. And that allows a perfect seal to your face so that everything's being filtered. So you're safe and the people around you are safe.
I said in my face scan, and I was in the 7%. They were wondering, where did you get the half human and half toucan? So she made me one that perfectly fit my beautiful profile.
I can tell you that mine will fit you perfectly because I'll just do a scan of your face and it'll only fit you.
I'm going to do that. You better send me this link. I'm going to take a scan of my face because I am so annoyed with my mask right now. I will pay whatever it costs to have something that's custom.
No, I will hook you up. No
profile.
I love how he says he's 7%. Out of 1,000 people, Dave Meltzer has to get a special mask.
Look at this thing. Gary, have you ever seen this on anybody else?
I have. You know, it's not that big.
I don't have a big nose. I have a small face.
Oh, you're the best. That was amazing. You know what I love? And if anyone's watching, they've got to listen to you. You said this one incredible thing. You scanned 1,000 people. 1,000 people. People don't want to do that work. Oh, the FDA wants this. Oh, I'll scan 2 people. Oh, it's too hard. And you were such a great entrepreneur and such a great visionary and incredible. I mean, you're like amazing. I'm so glad you came on. Incredible.
Yeah, Diana, we have another D that's watching, a double D. I see a comment from Donald Driver, our Super Bowl champion from the Green Bay Packers, the record holder. Donald Driver's in there. He says he wants one as well. So
I want to.
I'll hook you up. The Jaguars are wearing them. Also with the cast, I fit, the Chargers and just one of the Indianapolis Colts, and then the Denver Broncos called me to do a scan on Saturday, so I'm excited. But yeah, I'll hook any of you guys.
Leave the Broncos out of it.
Diana, I'll hook you up with as well. I've got a lot of Australian rugby players that I know, and Australian footballers. They break so many limbs.
Gosh.
I'll hook you up. Yeah. I'll find you on LinkedIn. I'll set you up with some really good companies in Australia. They'll gobble that up.
All right. Where can people find you, get scanned? Where can we get splints, casts, and masks? Where can
ActivArmor.com. Go ahead to our website, EctivArmor.com. You can find all of our providing clinics. You can make a referral there so we can set up your clinic. We can get you a custom mask, anything that you want. You can find it there, and it's got a 1-800 number. And if you press the button for Diana, you will get me.
If she can fit me, she can fit anyone. Thank you so much. You are incredible. I do interviews all day. You're an incredible interview. I love your energy and
so good.
Who you are. You come back anytime. We love you.
Bye.
Will do. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. That was like mind blowing.
Awesome.